Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Billy the Bat Boys Corner. Today we have longtime sportscaster, author, and current host of MLB Now and MLB Tonight, Brian Kenny. Thank you for coming on.
Good to see you, Billy.
Good to see you too. First, I'd like to congratulate you on your new book, Ahead of the Curve, which highlights how sabermetrics is changing the game of baseball. What's your objective in writing Ahead of the Curve? To show the readers how data is used, or to show the theory behind sabermetrics?
I think both. I think I wanted to show people that sabermetrics or analytics doesn't have to be difficult or have to be about calculus. It's just about asking the right questions, and then data will kind of lead the way. You're always looking for evidence, and frequently data is that evidence, but it doesn't always have to be. But I wanted to get things down and kind of relate my experiences of 30 years in the TV business, kind of fighting this fight, which I never thought I'd be fighting, but that's how it worked out.
What led you to the decision to get into sports broadcasting?
I wanted to be a journalist in some fashion. When I was in college, I really just wanted to get a job. I knew I'd have to work. And as I write in the book, I'd taken all the police tests. My father was a detective in New York City. I thought maybe I could get into television, or I would be a cop. It was a very creative way and a creative outlet for me. My writing, putting together a story. I wasn't going to go into sports. I was doing news first, and only later in my career, pretty early on, but about a year or two later, did I become a sportscaster, because there was an opening and it was a chance to kind of try something different. But I always thought it would be just a good creative outlet, a good way of of doing some interesting work and meeting interesting people.
How do you prepare for your shows?
I'm always thinking baseball, and I'm always looking for different trends and ideas. And at night, normally, I write my essays for the next day. And so I'll just be on Baseball Reference, looking up, a free agent, trying to do some analysis, my own analysis, and looking at the value of a player or a team. And then if I'm inspired to write, I'll write, and I'll write for the next day. And then the next day we'll have a meeting, in the morning, late morning, and then we do our show in the afternoon. But you're always kind of thinking about it, writing about it, talking about it. At MLB Network, we're totally immersed in the game, so we're always talking about the game and value and having these conversations.
What is your view on the upcoming Hall of Fame voting?
Well, I think there's a real backlog of great players that have not yet gotten into the Hall of Fame. I think you could go 15 or 20 deep. I think our standards are too high for the Hall of Fame, actually, and there's a lot of great players that we saw with our own eyes who are not only on this ballot, like Tim Raines, and Edgar Martinez, but also players that are not on the ballot. Bernie Williams and Kenny Lofton, Jim Edmonds, who could be Hall of Famers. They're strong candidates at the very least, and they're not even on the ballot. But I hope Tim Raines gets in. This is his last year on the ballot. That's the main thing. I think Trevor Hoffman would be an excellent Hall of Famer. I think Jeff Bagwell should get into the Hall of Fame as well.
Our last question: what advice would you give to a younger sports host?
I think follow whatever interests you. I think you could go to college and not just do journalism or communications, but whatever interests you. If it's economics, if it's finance, if you're good with math, then do that. But if it's English literature, if it's history, do what interests you, what your passion is, and you'll be good at it. And then fill your mind with everything you can, and then you can come back and do TV. And then hopefully you're an interesting person. I think that's the main thing. If you're an interesting person with an analytic mind, with an inquisitive mind, then you can be a good journalist. You don't have to be thinking, I'm going to be a journalist every single day of your life. Fill your mind with interesting things, learn, expand your mind, and then go back and be a journalist.
All right, thank you.
All right, Billy, thank you.